All right, hello everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of the What the Sheep podcast. Tonight we will be discussing Critical Role, Campaign 2, episode 98. And once again, we had another pretty crazy episode. Oh, I guess as a side note, Phil may be joining us at some point tonight. We're not quite sure. But we have a slot here for him just in case he shows up, so awesome.
Yep.
But yeah, another crazy episode. Absolutely wild.
Episode.
Yeah.
Man. Long one too, long episode.
Yeah, and it really was just the combat that added the extra, because it was like, I mean, for me it was like 12:30-ish when the combat started, which is on average when the episode ends, and then it went on for another, hour and a half after that. So yeah, it was pretty crazy, but it was a pretty slow to start, if that makes any sense. Like, it was pretty casual in the early parts of the episode. Not a whole lot going on, just some casual role play. They obviously wrapped up the conversation with Essek that they were having. But then nothing really crazy happened. There were some nice conversations, but it really wasn't until that last, section of the episode that it really took off.
No, definitely. And it was just, like you said, it was some really pleasant role play leading up to that point too. I just realized my screen got super bright. Whoops. A really pleasant role play leading up to that point, and then I was saying to you before that they had the break pretty early on in the episode. I think it was like an hour and a half in or hour 45 minutes in. I thought, it's going to be a short episode today, and nope. Just kept picking up and getting more and more intense. The amount of actual character development they have in this episode was incredible.
Oh yeah,
as well.
100%. A lot
aside from the combat, just so many good conversations. Finally, someone spoke to Yasha. It's just like yes.
Yeah, someone
Things
besides
have been
Caleb.
for so long. Yes. No, excellent. But I don't know. I really enjoyed the conversation with Essek. Because they're making it clear. Seeing all the comments after last week of people watching the show and just being like, oh, how can they forgive him? He's a traitor, and just being very quick to judge, I think, not Essek, but just the players' actions. But I think they made it very clear, like, well, no, this isn't, instant forgiveness, maybe from Cad, but, it's like they're going to have to deal with this. But
exactly.
Just seeing where they align themselves with Essek and where he aligns himself with them, I thought that was just a nice starting point to see, like, what are we going to do about this? Well, let's just, take it day by day. But
because they really do have, bigger fish to fry. Because while obviously Essek does mean a lot to the party, and his path towards redemption is definitely something the party's going to want to work towards, they definitely have some more pressing matters to deal with the negotiations coming up. And I'm worried that I talked about it a little bit in my Aftermath episode, and then someone made a comment about it. I was worried that Ludinus Deleth might have been scrying on that conversation, because I'm sure he probably noticed, or maybe have noticed, Jester usher out Essek when he was
right?
in his illusory form. Yeah, it wasn't super inconspicuous by any means.
I was thinking that at the end, like, isn't it going to look weird to have Desmond Fane, like, walking off the Mighty Nine ship in the middle of the night? I was thinking that. But damn, that'd
be super suspicious.
Thought.
But then someone had commented saying that Bo's true sight was probably still going during that conversation, so she would have seen, like, a scrying orb.
And Caleb's anti-scrying necklace, too, is probably close enough to maybe...
Yeah, obscure.
But no, that's...
So...
Ooh, that's interesting, though. But no, I loved Essek's conversation just about the Cerberus Assembly and how, like, you can absolutely not trust them. Vesterogna keeps getting brought up a lot, and I'm getting more and more excited to finally figure out what her deal is. She sounds pretty...
Yeah, because we haven't, like, met her. We've only seen her in Felderwind.
Yeah. And all we really know of her actions are things like how she threatened Luke when trying to get Yeza to work. She's into super old arcane crap. She's obviously super into these beacons, and what they have to do. So everything about her that we know about her is dodgy as hell.
Yeah.
So it's going to
Yeah.
be interesting when we do actually get. Well, if
Yeah,
we do ever get.
it seems like she might be on a similar level of evil to an extent as Trent, um, meaning she's willing to do whatever it takes to
Yes.
achieve what she's looking for or what she wants to accomplish, just from
The
the
whole
little
wicked
tidbits
deal,
that we've heard about her. So definitely
Yeah.
pretty scary. Is she going to be at the peace talks? I don't know if they mentioned if she was. I know
don't
she's
know, 'cause
aware
it's-
of everything that's going on, but I don't know if she's actually going to be there.
It's Ludinus and the other one.
Yeah, the
other,
new guy, the diplomatic guy.
Who I'm sure I wrote his name down somewhere now. I have no idea where it is. I'm trying to find it, but yeah, no, he's going to be there. I don't think she's going to be there. I think
That'd be kind of weird.
Oh, what was really interesting was how Essek mentioned she has interests in the Biting North. Excuse me. Saying that she does a lot of work up in the north. And it was something I noticed. Matt made a lot of mentions to the north and to like Isocross and all that this episode, and it's kind of got me thinking, oh, we lost Kiralee.
We lost Kiralee.
Oh wait, she's back.
It's okay. We're not in total collapse yet.
Yeah, no, it's okay. But it just started to make me think. Ephesius Uladan, thank you, Lynn. Oh, thank you, Lynn. Oh, Lynn's lovely. Sorry, I'm just watching the chat. But no, very, very interesting that was coming up a lot. It's making me think, is Matt maybe setting up something for them
like
to explore
arc.
next?
Yeah.
Is he like just putting the legwork in now so that it's like, oh no, you've heard of the North. Yeah, multiple times. Yeah, let's go there. I'm super excited for the Wildmount campaign book, so we can actually like, learn about that area
read up about
there.
all of these locations and stuff. Yeah, because Matt was saying that the collar that Caleb has been tinkering with is powered by some like ancient arcane battery that may be located in Isocross or up north. So I'm guessing that I think what Matt's trying to do is trying to set up new options for the party to take, because right now, for the past several months, it seems the main points of interest have been the negotiations and Traveler Con. So once those things have passed,
coming. I remember Jester being like saying, "When's Traveler Con?" when they were in the Happy Fun Ball, like thinking they were going to miss it then, and the whole fandom freaking out. But no, it's still a few weeks off. It's crazy to think.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Someone mentioned, they brought it up on Talks, how they've only known Essek for 3 months. And it feels like forever.
But it feels like so much longer. It feels like like a year at this point, but it's probably close to a year.
It's the curse of D&D. Like time is all mucked up.
I think we met him in episode in the 50s or 60s. I think so. It's been a really
it was
long
when
time.
Caleb gave the beacon. Like we saw them at the Bright Queen for the first time. So
oh no!
Oh gosh!
It's okay.
We're having a few technical difficulties today, guys. It's fine.
Yeah, today's been rough.
Yeah,
today's been rough. I can just disable. I can disable all of our cams until it's in order, so you guys don't have to look at how terrible our production quality is.
Oh, it's fine.
But we'll be back. It's okay. We're still here. We're still here. Don't worry. Episode 57. Yeah, it's been a 41 episodes, but that's only 3 months.
3 months.
Only 3 months.
I feel like it's because we had so early on in the campaign the seafaring arc. So and that took
true.
like 3 months, and that was a short amount of episodes. So it's the timelines have all been a bit squished up and spread out. But
which so I'm hoping for some nice like time skips once Traveler Con passes.
Yeah, I would kind of be okay with that.
Yeah. Maybe nothing too major, but it feels like each member of the party has things they want to do, but individually. Like there's individual things that they each want to do. So after Traveler Con passes, they might take some downtime to actually explore these different
and
options.
It goes into what Caleb was saying of how, like after their conversation with Essek, how, well, let's not, go in blasting and just take out the system. We can maybe surgically start to think about how we deal with the problems, and maybe the people we want to take out. And that led to that wonderful conversation with Caduceus of like, knowing what you actually want. You don't want revenge, like you want to stop more atrocities. But that whole idea of, like the ninja force to work on it. I like the idea of maybe having some downtime to figure out what they're actually going to do, but also to just strengthen their ideas. That's a good point. Someone's just said the fact that they're teleporting all the time. It takes so long to travel.
Essek coming in clutch with all that stuff.
Yeah. No. Oh yeah, Purely's working on it. Oh, good.
Well, that's all right.
Yeah.
Tonight's been weird. A lot of weird technical stuff, but that's okay. I did have a few notes. Let me look at my handy dandy sheet of paper right here.
Hey, Purely's back.
I wonder what crazy enchantments Caleb would come up with using the... True! Yeah, that's actually why I think it would be interesting for the party to travel up north once TravelerCon passes. Just because Isocross is the city, right? Or is the city something else? And Isocross is the region?
Lynn probably knows. I think it's the region. It's like that, set of islands north of...
Ah! He's back.
Well, no, it's called the Frozen Depths. Hey, Curly. It's called the Frozen Depths, but I'm not sure. Isocross is the reason. I told you Lynn would know. Lynn, if you don't know, is she works on the Critical Role wiki. She's pretty excellent.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So,
Lynn. That wiki has
that actually
so much effort in making videos.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Lynn, I'm actually going to... Is that your Twitter handle? What your Twitch is?
It's
Or
it's at ELYNDN8.
Okay.
I don't know how to pronounce it. Sorry.
I have to talk to you about something, but after the podcast, business stuff.
Ominous, Nico. Ominous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No worries. All right. Back to it.
Are you guys talking about the north? Is that what you're talking about?
A little bit.
Yeah. The stuff that's happening up there. It'd be cool to have like a history arc where they go back to the location of where the remnants of the Age of Arcanum are.
Yeah, because you said there was a floating city. Was the end of it? Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be super.
Which
cool.
is probably why Vesterogna is so into that area, or like why she's got interests up there.
Oh yeah.
Into that battery power. Yeah.
But then. So Vesterogna is the Archmage of Antiquities.
Yes.
And then
well, that makes sense.
Dolan Tversky is the Archmage of Dysology, which is just like the esoteric stuff.
It's kind of like the kind of weird unknown, but also the
Okay.
Is Vesterogna the one that was in the one shot? Is that?
No, that's Dolan.
No,
Vesterogna was in Felderwind with Martinet.
Tversky was in the Brigade one shot, inquiring about the strange meteor that had crashed.
Yeah, there's been a lot of celestial aspects coming up too lately in the campaigns. So obviously the one shot with the meteor or whatever it was, but also the moons kept being brought up. I know in particular the subreddit's going crazy of the moons at the moment. Just what's going on with it, what's its impact. Obviously, they've got a celestial in their party. I'm excited for what's going to eventually, hopefully, maybe come out from that. What did you guys think? I was really interested in Essek saying how, they'll return the beacon, the assembly will keep one, and they're going to be sharing research. Do you take, at least in my perspective, I kind of took it as maybe a little bit naive from Essek's part. And I think Caleb brought up too the fact that as if they're not just going to instantly, cut ties with Essek maybe or turn him in. I'm just wondering what you guys think. Do you think it's safe for Essek to be like, all right, well, deal's done, back to the dynasty, or I don't know.
I think it's tricky because I think it would be a huge power play by the assembly to cut ties with Essek because they would know, they would be safe because they would know that then Essek would have to tell the Bright Queen, oh, they have a third one, but then the Bright Queen would be like, oh,
Yeah.
how do you know that? Oh, well, because I actually had to deal with them beforehand. So
Yeah.
I think the Assembly, I think it's pretty likely that the Assembly might actually cut ties with Essek, because they would have nothing to lose. Essek would be on the back foot, because then he would have to explain to the Bright Queen why he knows they still have a beacon.
Yeah.
And that whole situation.
And if the Bright Queen, if the Dynasty find out that there's been another unearthed beacon, it's just going to be another push to get it back. Like,
Yeah.
I know they say that the beacons pop up all around the world,
Mhm.
but it's the Empire had the 2 stolen ones. This is a found one. This is like unlimited ancient potential for
Mhm.
you know, old souls or whatever they are.
Right. But then I
And
feel like
Essek just
Worm their
believes
way
they're
over there.
relic. Like the dynasty thinks that they're theirs because
Parts of
they're
the god.
part of their god, part of their religion. But Essek just considers them like relics, so he doesn't really care. But
yeah.
Yeah.
But I also feel like if yeah, that's true, Lynn. If the Assembly is honest in their desire to see an end to this conflict, to this war, then I feel like they wouldn't risk cutting ties with Essek, because if they did, that'll just create new tensions that were unnecessary and weren't there before.
Yeah.
So they probably won't, but again, there is no surface risk to them cutting ties with Essek once it's all said and done.
Yeah.
don't you think it'd just solidify the peace though? Like if they're like, oh, like we have found the traitor who was like bringing your
Beacons.
to us. Here you go.
But then I feel like Essek would then just be like, oh, well, they've stabbed me in the back. Well, they have another beacon. Let's go get it. Sort of
Mhm.
thing. But I feel like,
unless they like kill him.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, we've killed him. He is your traitor.
Yeah.
He can't
Yeah.
speak for himself.
They might just kill like apropos of nothing, they just might kill him.
Well,
Don't
Yeah,
have
that
to.
would be really
I
sad.
don't want them to.
But-
I don't want them to.
Kiralee, why'd you say that? Things come true.
No,
Yep,
I
now
only
it's
wanna do
in the
that.
universe. Hot Boy's
Only nice
dying.
predictions.
No.
It's okay. He's like got the thing.
Oh,
He's
no.
what is it? He's
Consecuted.
consecuted.
True.
Um,
Wait, but he has to die by a beacon. Oh, but they'll have beacons at
yeah,
the
but
peace
he's
talks.
right next to one.
Yeah.
But I think it's just we're so untrustworthy of the Assembly that we just instantly think the absolute worst possible case for everything they do.
Yeah.
But they do keep making. Matt keeps making a point that they are super intelligent. Like that probably would just be. I think it'd just be a bad idea if they backstab Essek.
Right.
At least now.
Yeah.
They're all quite long-lived, so
Mm-hmm.
they've probably got
They're
the time
world
to.
weary.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting.
But
Yeah.
it's funny because, once Essek left the conversation and they had some time to themselves discussing, what do they want to do once these peace talks are over? Caleb obviously still wants to remove the cancers of the Empire, being the Cerberus
Yeah.
Assembly and stuff. But what's funny is that them talking about, okay, how do we deal with the aftermath and all of these important players? The Cerberus Assembly is probably also talking about the same thing.
Yeah,
Like,
what do we
once
do
these
with
peace
the
talks are
Mighty
over,
Nine?
how do we now quietly carry out what we wanted to do anyways while the war was still
I
going?
didn't even think of that. I didn't even think of the Cerberus Assembly like having. Well, of course, Trent would have Caleb on his radar, but I didn't think of
Yeah.
the rest of the Assembly having the Mighty Nine on their radar.
Yeah.
Because once they're out of the way, they've kind of served their purpose of being the
Mhm.
mediators.
Yeah. The only.
yeah.
This obviously all rests on the Cerberus Assembly not finding out that the Mighty Nine is aware of what's going
Of
on.
Essek, yeah.
Of Essek and all of
Which-
that stuff.
They can totally keep a secret. Don't
Yeah,
worry
yeah.
about
They
that.
won't let it slip, because as soon as as that's out,
Mm.
it's
Yeah.
it could be over for the Mighty Nine, because then they could take that information to King Dwendal, and then, because obviously the Cerberus Assembly went behind Dwendal's back.
Yeah. Well, we don't know though,
Well,
really, do we?
yeah, that's true. We don't really know.
Yeah.
But let's say in theory, if they did, King Dwendal might see that as like traitorous, and he might remove them from power or elect other members of the Cerberus Assembly to take over. So obviously, Ludinus and company would not want that, and so they would have to remove the Mighty Nine before they could, relay this information to the king. But I don't think the Mighty Nine would do that anyways. Yes, Kirli.
I have an idea. I think now they have the spell that changed not to Veth.
Yep. Widowgast.
Yeah. They should change one of them and have like an agent, like,
Ooh.
but not like a disguised person, like a fully like changed person. They could even like kill somebody and have, I don't know if you can change into like an actual other person, but anyway, like
I think
somebody
you get to
fully
change.
changed,
You
like,
get to pick your appearance, so they probably could make them
Yeah.
they
look
probably
like
could.
anything
So
they want.
I think somebody should. They were talking about like doing ninjas. I think they should do spies. Somebody should just like fully infiltrate, and they could like, I don't know, they could like pretend to offer Essek up, but offer him up so it's near enough to a, I don't know. But I think that's what they should do somehow. They should infiltrate like all the way up till somebody's got sort of the ear of Ikathon, and then like get information, because
That's some fun downtime activity.
Yeah, that's
Open a shop,
That's
buy
a-
a house, infiltrate the Cerberus Assembly. I like
that's like
it.
a whole
That's
like
cool.
mini campaign in itself.
Yeah. Well, Bo was talking about being a spy pirate. Maybe
True.
she would honestly be the best person for it. It's part of
Mhm.
the whole.
they've
Yeah.
all got these skills that are not like go in and
Yeah.
just like, well, they got smash everything skills as well, but a bunch of them have got really good like persuasion, and
Yeah.
Mhm.
I guess
Tuku
those
Tukus. Oh, I'm so sorry if that's not how you say your name. But they say the spell can't be casted twice in a year. I think it can't be cast twice on the same person in a year. So if they did that, that person's stuck in that form for at least a year.
Yeah.
it's
So that would be like that's a year long con.
Mhm.
Spirits, yeah. No, but that's cool. I do like that idea of infiltrating. It's just more they've now put their face out there. They can't
Mhm.
like.
I
I
could
remember
see
like
them.
Vax
Excuse me.
had that ability, being an assassin. He could do that thing where he could
Mhm.
like spend a certain amount of time to give himself a whole new false identity, but they never had the time to do that. Unfortunately, that would have been a cool
I could see
trait to
them
have.
maybe not like Bo or any of the other members of the party being transformed to infiltrate, but I could see them asking Dyren if she would be interested in doing something like that.
Perfect.
Since she was kind of
Yeah,
already doing that
that'd be
in the
great.
Dynasty, just not to the
Yeah.
extreme of that spell.
Mm. Yeah, they'd be really good at that. Oh man, yeah. Now
maybe the
I'm looking
Cobalt
forward to
Soul
that.
already has an inn somewhere.
They might do.
Maybe, yeah.
Anyway, I'm just trying to bamf so that we don't have to talk about this actual episode.
Also, there was a lot of nice, fun roleplay moments before
Yeah.
the fight. So why don't we talk about that for a bit?
Oh,
I
I
did
loved it was so like innocent and didn't mean anything, but I just loved Ford and Jester just having dinner
Yes.
together at the lavish chateau.
I love
Just so
Sam's reaction to all
casual.
of
Yeah,
that.
I know. I know. It's always so
Such-
funny.
Yeah.
I love any ship moments, whether it's Bo and
Yeah.
Jester, Caleb and Jester, Ford and Wow, yeah, Jester pretty much
Yeah.
holds all of the
Top table and Jester.
yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I'm not really prescribed
love
to
it
any
all.
one ship, but I just love it anyway. It's
Yeah.
just it's character relations. It's just
Mhm.
fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also
Yeah.
ship agnostic, and I'm very happy with any
I believe
Anybody
they
on
exist.
that
I just
table-
don't prescribe to one.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
anyone at that table flirting with anyone else.
hmm
But I feel like
Yeah.
Sam really set that situation up, because he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna get a bite. We're coming back, but we're gonna get a bite to eat." Like
Yeah.
that was random. Why did he say that? And I really feel like he said that just to be like,
oh yeah.
"We're coming back, but not like right now." So there's time.
Yeah.
You could do a thing. Didn't they? Isn't that something that happened at the live show though, Nico? That Ford suggested that he would take Jester out for a meal or something.
Yes.
Not in the episode. In like the pre Q&A.
There was yes, in the Q&A that Flando had transcribed on Reddit, someone had asked what would Ford's like
First
perfect date with Jester be, or first date with Jester be? And it'd be like, and he said like a picnic on the beach or picnic at like her favorite spot in Nicodranus or something along those lines.
Oh.
I think, yeah.
So yeah, they played that out pretty closely then.
Yeah. Yeah, bless Flando. Yeah, Flando is the MVP.
Yeah, we said it last week for
Yeah.
video editing. Flando is the one.
Yeah.
Just finding stuff. But
Mhm.
I loved the conversation with Marion and Ford and Jester, like talking about getting him a new hat. But
Yeah.
also just that kind of, it was that nice thing of like, he's met her before, but that whole thing of being with your crush's parents and they're kind of like playing it up a little bit as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very sweet. And Marion's just amazing. And
She's great.
great.
I would
going
say we should have Marion join the party, but yeah. I don't
I'm
know
already-
whether,
yeah,
Too
no.
precious.
If anything
can't
happened
risk
to
her
her,
dying. We can't.
Oh.
But I'm worried. I'm worried now. Oh no. Oh no.
Don't say it. Don't say it, Nico.
I have to. I
If you're
have
worried,
to.
yeah.
I have to say it now because I thought it.
I'm worried they're all going to live happily ever after. There, I said it. I got it out of the way.
Yeah, that was
Ugh.
boring.
So
Yeah,
so Ludinus and the rest of the assembly, they're probably smart enough to know that direct confrontation or means of like removing a problem needs to not be in a violent or obvious manner.
no!
They'll obviously go
Don't
towards
you dare
they'll obviously
say
go towards like blackmail to shut
Don't you
people
dare.
up. So if the assembly finds out that the party knows, they might not just kill them off right away to not spread the word. They'll resort to blackmail, and Ludinus now knows that Marion is Jester's mom. So
Damn it,
that's already a close connection, like a family connection that the assembly is aware of.
And guess who else lives at the Lava Chateau?
Veth's family.
They're even trying to protect them at all. They
It's
just like-
happening! Blackmail. Blackmail.
God damn it.
Well,
That was a fear very early on in the campaign, wasn't it? When
yeah.
not
Yeah, it was.
Jester had sent the letter saying like, oh, from Lavore, whatever, sent to the Lava Chateau. They had fears that Astrid was going to be there. I remember them going to
Yeah.
Nicodranus and Caleb looking out for Astrid like on every corner.
Mm-hmm.
But the fear is real again.
Yeah.
Astrid's not on the boat.
No.
You could just be.
Fam-
Family TPK.
Family TPK.
Oh no. Well, luckily, Clay's family is safe. I don't think the assembly is aware of them. I mean, Caleb killed his own family, so I mean that's fine.
Yeah.
Caleb is
They
out
need
of
to
it.
get Mika to come.
To be
stay
fair,
at
the
their
Cerberus
lodge.
assembly already got Caleb's family.
True.
Yeah.
Ford, we don't know who his family is, if they're even relevant anymore.
No.
Bo, well,
They can take her family.
that's a whole separate thing. We have to worry about a Sharnai in that situation. So
Yeah, they've already got their own problems.
there's so many, y'all. There are so many things we have to be afraid of. Oh boy, and there's the peace to and Anuka Toa's back. Oh my god.
Oh, jeez.
I love
Can
that
we
they
just
all
go back?
went
Can we
out
go back
in
to the Happy Fun
ocean.
Ball? Can they slow time the
Yeah.
Happy Fun Ball and just spend a little
Yeah.
bit in the Happy Fun Ball?
Yeah,
Wow.
back to when Not died and...
Yeah. Can we just go back to the simpler times where they were pissing off ancient white dragons? Can we just go
Yeah.
back to that? That's another thing we have to worry about. Because now after all of this is
Yeah.
over, if they want to go up to Isocross, they have to worry about coming across Geladon again, because that's where Geladon is his realm is, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't he in
There
that?
are
Arrow.
fires
Oh, wait.
everywhere,
Arrow.
for sure.
Wait. Geladon was in the north in Jorhas, though. Isocross is in the north.
It was in the Graying Wildlands, which is kind of north of Wildmount total.
Oh, okay.
Once again, if you see me do this, I'm looking at my map.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Graying Wildlands, but it's all connected. And it's a
Yeah.
dragon.
Yeah,
You can fly there.
that's true.
Um,
Oh my
Ugh.
god.
when Essek and Caleb were talking, just because we already
Yeah.
moved on, and I wanted to say, I don't know if you already said, but that line, "We don't trust you," but that doesn't mean we don't hope for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was, I just like, I know that things get crazy and people get annoyed at them with rules and stuff, and then people say, "Oh, but like at your D&D table, you mess up rules all the time." I really hope that it's also true that at our D&D tables, really cool shit like that gets said. We just also don't pick up on that, because otherwise I don't understand how they're so good at just saying the most profound stuff.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
we don't trust you, but it doesn't mean we don't hope for you. Just
Yeah.
I think it just comes from being like intelligent, well-read improv actors. Like they've just got
Yeah.
that kind of vocabulary and things to back themselves up.
amazing.
Yeah, no, it's great. And like I mean, you could take everything Tal's ever said, and it's just the most profound stuff.
True. Mm-hmm.
And it just comes out of nowhere. But yeah, no, that was wonderful. That's just that whole conversation.
And
Really
it's
good
like
Caleb
watching-
episode as well. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not wanting to jump ahead, but we need more Ford and Caleb scenes because that was just wonderful.
Oh, I
Like,
know.
there's
And-
there's certain scenes I'll always go back and just rewatch from like early in the campaign, and a lot of it is a lot of Caleb's backstory because I find that so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And this scene I've already rewatched like 5 times. It's just
Mm-hmm.
so well acted, so well worked together. And it's a major turning point of him telling someone else his
Yeah.
actual backstory,
Mm-hmm.
to the point where now it's only maybe like 3 of them that don't have the full story, or 2 of them
Yeah.
maybe. But no, that was a huge move.
Does Jester not know?
Jester doesn't know,
Yeah,
or
no.
at least she hasn't been told outright. Whether she knows or not, we don't really know. But she
Yeah.
hasn't been told by anyone, specifically the family part. Caduceus doesn't know. Yasha knows.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it then. Everyone else knows.
Yeah. One of my
Ford
favorite.
doesn't know how it happened. Ford
Yeah.
doesn't know how it happened. He just
Correct.
knows.
But one of my favorite moments of this entire campaign was the moment that Caleb was bringing up, the moment where Ford had raised his sword to Caleb's throat back when they were doing the
Yes, that's
the
another
heist
scene I rewatch a lot.
way back. Yeah, that whole scene was one of my favorite moments of this campaign.
Yeah,
It was so cool, and it's just so insane to see how much both characters have grown since that moment and everything they've gone through and stuff. But
yeah,
yeah, Caleb obviously super
trusting.
yeah, trusting, and he's growing to respect Ford, and he's seen how much Ford has grown since they first met, and he's really become sort of I wouldn't really say like a leader figure to the group, but in a similar vein of Caduceus, where Caduceus is kind of like the one who keeps everyone together. People sort of go to him for advice. Ford is kind of there as another solid anchor to go to.
Yeah, he's like a rock. He keeps them
Yeah.
grounded. I think
Yeah.
Caduceus keeps them honest, and
Mhm.
Ford keeps them like bound in reality a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which again is just another lovely parallel between those two characters.
Yeah.
The fact that they are, not the anchors, like pulling them down, but yeah.
Or yeah. Yeah.
That conversation between Ford and Caleb as well, just as like another way of looking at it, is also like a really good way of reacting when somebody shares something very traumatic.
Mm-hmm.
Ford,
Just a good
like,
listener.
just like, it's something, I don't know if you have, Lana, but something sometimes teachers get training on is like how to deal when like somebody says, a child says something very traumatic or something to you, but Ford like didn't ask follow-up questions, didn't like pry, like you said, Alana. He doesn't know how it happened.
Yeah, he wasn't going to be like, oh, how'd you do it? Like, yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't say, tell me the whole story, tell me what happened. all he did was like affirm what he knew about Caleb, which was like, I see that you're a good person. Here's the reasons why I think you're a good person. I've changed my life because I think you're a good person. And also, what do we need to do now? Like, what are the realities of these people who have done this?
And it's
I like
showing empathy, not just sympathy. Like he was saying, like we have a similar path but very different backstory. So kind of letting Caleb know he's also not alone in his struggles, at least. You know, that's a really good point. No, and that's just going back to Ford being like a strong base for the group. He is a good listener there, and he was saying when they had the chat in the dome after the hag, and they were saying like, well, what do you want to do, Ford? What's your plan? And he's saying, well, I just want to stick with the group. I want to help out. You guys helped me out so much. I'm invested in this group. I want to be here for you guys.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of core to his character now, of just being support for the group.
Yeah, super awesome. We need more Ford and Caleb. I feel like their dynamic is so different than everyone else in the party.
And it was such a good line too when he's saying when he was living in like his port town, when there was a storm coming in, they looked to the animals because the animals were acting weird. So when they're with the Cerberus Assembly, if I wrote it down, it's like, I keep an eye on you, so if your eye's on them, our eyes are on you.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's so cool. Yeah. That's such a good
another amazing
feeling.
one-liner. Oh, they're so good.
That's so good.
I also do like watching Marisha just have to like
do
these ones
just
and, like,
back out of the scene.
Yeah, and she's like really intent and listening, but she's also like trying to stay like neutral, but she can't really.
She's had to do that so often because I rewatched the scene where Ford raised his sword to Caleb's throat, and she kind of had a similar thing where she had to like back up during like a super intense moment. But then also way back when they were underwater in Dashilla's lair, and Ford was provoking Caleb to activate like the shrine or whatever. That was also one where Marisha was just like, okay, I'm letting you guys have this moment.
That was interesting because in that conversation in this episode where Caleb was talking about how Ford was a lot darker, like earlier, that was kind of a dark moment in Dashilla's lair. Even though it was like they were forging a bit of a brotherhood, they were forging a bond, or at least a bit of a pact. That was a pretty dark moment. They both were looking for. I think they both maybe assumed it was going to unlock some sort of power, which it would have been terrible for them. But it kind of highlights both those characters looking for power. But then, it's just there's a scene. I'm trying to find it, and maybe someone can help me find it because I want to use it in a video. But there's a scene somewhere after that episode where Ford and Caleb are talking again about, just having each other's back. And Liam is rubbing his hand, like where they cut the scar into his hand, like where they did the blood pact. I'm trying to find it, so if someone can help me find that, that'd be awesome. Email me.
I'll try.
But no, it's just, but it's just that whole idea of, I love that that's a recurring theme of remembering the deal they made to look out for each other. And even super early in the campaign when they were talking, like saying, I remember Ford saying like, oh, you seem like you've got your shit together. I mean, you didn't, but you seem like you got your shit together. I'll follow your lead. They did that on the boat as well, saying like, keep an eye on Avantika. Like, if you feel the need to do something, do it. And then we fire. I've always loved the collaboration and just the relationship between Ford and Caleb, because they just both feel like kind of, I don't want to say the dads of the group because I don't like assigning labels like that, but they're both maybe the caretakers of the group's well-being, in that sense of making sure the group is safe. And it's cool because then we always get amazing scenes out of it, or amazing decisions. That's great. But help me find that scene, please.
I'll be on the lookout. I've been like slowly like rewatching this campaign. Like I'll pick like certain episodes randomly and I'll just like rewatch, part of the episode or whatever. So I'll keep my eye out. But we also had another really awesome conversation on when they were finally setting sail.
Yes.
When Bo, Yasha, and Jester were
They
crafting
talked
their
to
little
Yasha.
traveler figurines. Yeah,
We've
and
been saying it for
Yasha,
ages.
they
Talk to
finally,
Yasha.
mm-hmm,
Nah,
they finally
that was
got to
good.
talk to her about it.
Um,
Cause yeah, the only other person she talked to about it was Caleb, and that's not a very good,
no, it's terribly unhealthy.
not a very good decision.
Yeah, but no, that was, I think, it was nice because it was such like a quiet thing they were doing. They were just like making statues for TravelerCon, but they invited Bowen and then invited Yasha in.
Mm-hmm.
And just some of the stuff that came out, because they were talking initially to Jester about how she felt about the Traveler, and that led into the discussion about Core, or like the Storm War.
Yeah.
And we finally got some insight into Yasha's like motives for like going into the pit fight,
Mm-hmm.
which was pretty intense. She was saying
Ooh,
like how she
yeah.
felt like she had to die for people that she had killed.
Yeah.
But then at least I guess coming to the realization that that's probably, well, that's not the best way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But no, that was a much healthier conversation for her, I think. And then obviously it led to her dream. So, no, I do love that when they just have, not even girl talk, but it's just, you know, getting together and just checking in on each other.
I wonder.
Yeah.
I wonder if Matt had always planned for Yasha to have that dream that night,
Mm.
or if he was waiting for her to have a conversation like that, where she was beginning to move forward and move on and learn to forgive herself and redeem herself. I wonder if he was waiting for that conversation to then have that
that's
dream, or if he planned on her having that dream all along. I don't know.
She's on talks. That's
We
a
don't
good
know.
question for him to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good talks question because that's either
Thank
way
you,
is cool, but
Yeah.
it does kind of feel like most like, cause not that it was bad, but then it made like that night. It actually made for it really funny because then Travis was really caught off guard.
Yeah.
But it did feel like 2 dreams in one night is a lot. So, but the imagery he painted in that was so beautiful, and there's
Yeah.
already art of that dream, which is incredible. I just like Ashley just makes the most such interesting kind of understated characters. Like understated is probably the wrong word, but it's like she's in for the slow burn. Like her characters hold
And
so
she
much.
kind of had to be, I think, because of her
Yeah.
schedule. But it's working so well now that she's back. We get to see it actually pay off. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, it's like Yasha has such an odd, I don't know, sense of humor, and also like the things that she picks up on and the things that, and it's obviously also just Ashley, but Ashley's such a good actor that I think, I don't know, Yasha's just such an interesting kind of nuanced, I don't know, I just don't know. You just don't really know very much about her, and the stuff that comes out, the stuff that she laughs at, the stuff that she like sort of her ears prick up to are just really interesting.
Yes.
So I think on talks at one point Brian talked about how Ashley's like research on Yasha is like this thick. Like she's got a folder of
I
stuff.
can't wait. Yeah. End of
so
campaign. I hope we get some insight into that because that's really.
Yeah. Back real quick about the art that's already up of Yasha and her wings and stuff. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Black Cylinder.
Oh yeah.
On Twitter, they make crazy good art.
Yeah.
And really fast too. Like as soon as the episode ended, they had already put up a picture of Ford, overboard in the ocean when that battle first started. Oh my goodness. The talent of these artists is
I've
insane.
seen that too. It's insane, yeah.
But anyways,
Just if we're gonna like sidestep into talking about art for a second, randomly this week I didn't know, but there's a person on Twitter. Hang on, I'm trying to find her name. Who does a lot of. It is underscore strawberry fox underscore Anselina Israel. I think that might be her name. I'm not really sure, but I think she's probably on Twitch, like broadcasting on Twitch right now. She does a bunch of art and does a bunch of like live drawing during the stream, and then like fleshes it out afterwards.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, I've been, and she streams drawing her art, and it's like professional level, like comic book well, not even comic book, because it's so
Oh
detailed.
yeah, I've seen some of her stuff.
Yeah, and so I don't know, I wanted to give her a shout out on account of the fact that like every morning this week I've gotten up and she's streaming and I'm watching her draw.
We should have a fan art of the week section where we show our favorite fan art.
We should. We'll just keep adding on new segments to the podcast.
Wait,
Yeah.
is
I think
that
going
a
over
thing
fan
I'm
art
allowed
would
to
be
do,
pretty fun.
Nico? Am I allowed to put a thing in the chat? Do I have permission to
A
do that?
link. Let me
Or
scroll
can I
up
send
and
it to
find
you?
your name because I might be able to.
Yeah, I can just put the Twitter handle.
Yeah.
Put it here.
Oh yeah, you found it?
Yeah.
Thank you. That's all.
That's cool. That's really cool art. They had the really excellent piece last week of Bo kind of looking up at all the ethereal fish flying around.
You can also post a link
Yeah,
now,
that's it.
Kirli.
Oh, cool.
Nice. But yeah, just back to Yasha's dream. No, that we haven't had as much Stormlord obviously in a while
Yeah.
since Yasha's been gone, but just the fact that he's back, and I think it was a little bit, maybe I thought Ashley was super unsure of what to do in that scene, which I mean could be said of anyone just kind of thrown into a
Yeah.
random abstract dream, but I just love. Did you guys pick up on like the similarities between what saying like prove? It was very like
Yeah.
a little Lucator-ish,
Mhm.
but I think it kind of just goes to show that idea of having a deity like pay attention to you, have this entity pay attention to you, and then obviously she got her wings back, which is exciting. I'm wondering if they're going to, like, if she is a full Protector Azamar now, is she going to have her stats changed? There was a little moment in the combat later on when I think Ashley was talking about the wings, or someone brought up the wings, and Matt was saying like, oh, it's an action to use that, talking about the Protector Azamar feature, where she gets the wings out and she can actually fly around.
Travis asked, "What do your wings look like?" And I don't know whether
Yeah.
it was a prompt or he was legitimately like, "Wait, what do they look like?" And Matt was like, "They're not out. It takes an action."
Yeah.
And then we didn't see him. Maybe she'll like test it out and go flying out across the ocean and back, and they'll all like clap and.
That'd be super cute.
Someone pushes her off a cliff, like a la
Mhm.
campaign 1.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like Yasha
But no.
isn't one to show off though, so I feel like
no,
she'll only unfurl them
that's in
if she
combat.
really needs to.
Yeah. But the Stormlord, I keep saying called, what the Stormlord said to Yasha, saying, "You are worthy of
Mhm.
my guidance,
Oh.
but also of your acceptance."
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote that one down too.
And then you're saying, "The path before you is long, but I won't let you stray."
Yeah.
I can only imagine. We haven't gotten to see Yasha's full reaction to that yet, because it happened and then immediately went to the forward
True.
dream and then the combat. So
True.
I can't wait to maybe see if that's going to affect Yasha, affect Ashley's role play of Yasha, if that's going to be
Mhm.
like she's found like a newfound strength, or
Yeah.
she's Someone brought up a really cool point on Twitter. I can't remember who it was, but saying, "Is Yasha's hair going to change color?"
Oh. That'd be
Because when she
interesting.
used to use her necrotic shroud, her whole hair went black. I wonder if when she
Mm.
uses her, I don't know the name of the Protector Azamar feature. I can't remember, but yeah, if that maybe her hair will go white. We don't know.
Oh, that'd be
Exciting.
interesting. But yeah, no, I definitely think that this dream and the Stormlord putting so much faith and instilling so much confidence in Yasha is definitely what she needed. We all know that the strength is in her always. Like, she just needed to realize that she doesn't really need the Stormlord's like blessing, I guess, because he even said, you know, she is worthy.
It's really cool too. I've just made the connection of how he's saying like prove and like, you know, like find your strength and things like that. It's from campaign 1, Earthbreaker Groon. He was a high priest of the Stormlord, and his whole thing with Grog was always, where do you find your strength? Like, where do you get your power? And it was like Grog always answers like from his family, from his friends.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of now secretly hoping it leads Yasha to Vasselheim or something, where they can go meet Earthbreaker Groon and meet that super cool monk that just fucks with everyone. That'd be fun. Because they've not come across. Is Stormlord the Stormlord's not a approved religion?
Nope.
Is he? No. So that'd be.
At least I don't
cool
think so. Lynn can fact check us
Lynn
on that one. I feel like he's not, though.
Do we know? Just, I have a legitimate question, just because this campaign's been so long and I forget. Do we know if her family, like, because I don't know how Matt is running like Asimar's in his game. Are her family Asimars?
Yeah,
is she
we don't
the
know.
only Asimar in her family, or is she only an Asimar because of the Stormlord?
Well, we don't know because she doesn't talk about her parents or anything.
The Stormlord is her dad.
Well, not her dad, but
yeah.
Playing it where like that's where her like.
Is it a tribe of Asimar? Yeah, we don't know because all we get from her backstory is what she's told us, which is pretty little. And she's not mentioned because it's a bit like too. She's always been a bit vague on the celestial aspect of her background. Like she says that she can speak celestial, and I know Caleb's like picked up on that, and he's said in character, "You're an Asimar," but they've not explored what that actually means in that world. There was Asimars in the first campaign too, but they also again weren't explored. Those 2 boys that they found in the city of Ember, or the 5 Plane City. But they didn't explore what that meant in the world. Like, were they celestial parents? Were they just blessed? Things like that. Which is kind of cool, which is why I like Asimars, because they're so kind of unknown. But no, that's a good point. That'd be interesting to know. It'd be cool if it was a whole tribe of Asimars.
Just to hear about like the history of like how they all came together.
I don't think it was the city of Dis. I think that was in Hell, the city of Dis. I think it was the city of Ember in the Fire Plane. That's just talking to the chat.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Stormlord is not approved. Thank you, Lynn.
Yeah. Didn't think he was. It's very limited, the deities that are approved.
But if we keep talking about it, we don't have to talk about the fight.
Let's talk about the fight.
Yeah, that's pretty much what's next. But I just
checked. Did we miss anything?
I was let me briefly go over my notes. I don't.
I feel like we'll talk about the fight for a little bit.
Yeah.
The only other thing really that I thought was really cool, three things I thought were cool. Just as tarot cards were wonderful.
Oh yeah.
Wonderful designs. I'm so hoping that like once you finish the deck, that becomes merch that you can buy.
Oh yeah.
That'd be wonderful. I thought Yasha and Bo both having like time out on the beach, which then I think led to the conversation on the boat. It was like precursor to that self-care kind of aspect. But also that wonderful gnome shopkeep. Sheila
Bobstopper. Yep.
That's amazing.
So good.
Just anytime Cad goes into a weird store, it's going to be amazing. And then they got some pretty cool stuff from it.
It's Taliesin. I love it when there are bits. I love it when there are bits of Critical Role where it's just Matt and Taliesin like screwing with each other. Like
Yeah.
there are just moments where I feel like, not that that's a like a pushing moment, but I feel like Matt knows Taliesin's almost a little bit better than the rest of them, or at least he's been playing D&D longer than the rest of them. Really,
He knows how to be weird with Taliesin.
He knows how to be so weird with Taliesin, and it's so cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. And they got like some really cool items from that. I love Bo, just like when or Marisha, when they were describing the fan, she's just like, oh,
Yeah.
getting like, I don't know if you guys have seen Avatar: The Last Airbender,
Yeah.
but just
Yeah.
very strong Avatar Kyoshi vibes with
Oh,
like
yeah,
airbending
yeah.
with a fan.
hmm
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Ooh, I wonder if he got inspiration from Avatar Kyoshi for that fan thing. Maybe.
That'd
Maybe.
be pretty cool.
Hey, that's another Talks question. Actually, can they even bring up Avatar on Talks? I don't know if they can.
They probably could. I mean, they bring
Yeah.
up so
yeah, that's
much
true.
other
That's
stuff.
true. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, well, I know that I'm fairly certain Matt and Marisha are huge Avatar fans.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned.
Yeah. Yeah, I always get big Avatar Korra vibes from Bo. Just like her headstrong, confident, fiery nature is very, very Korra.
Someone's just brought up the biggest reveal in the campaign so far is the fact that Cad dyes his hair.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's like the
That was
fungus
really
that grows
cool.
on him. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know that until this episode. I think that was this is the first time that he's mentioned that.
Yeah. Which makes me think, because I don't think Matt didn't describe what Cad's family's hair looked like. I don't think. I might be wrong. But he didn't really give too much description to their design features. It was more just kind of what their faces looked like a little bit. So we didn't even really get to see if his family had pink hair, similarly, or if they were just kind of regular faux bow hair. But no, that's really cool.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
dye. And then it worked. It was pretty good persuasion.
yeah.
And
Checks
some cool
out.
scrolls and stuff.
Flame sphere and telekinesis.
Yes. Which is... Who did they give the flaming sphere to? They gave it to Not.
Not,
Because
yeah.
Not can eventually learn that spell and keep it rather than use it to scroll.
Yeah.
Which is exciting. Which is terrifying, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it'll
Beth with
pretty
a,
much be
flaming sphere.
Fluffernutter 2.0.
Oh my god, it's Fluffernutter, like, unlimited.
True, true. Once you actually
Yeah.
look at
Sam
it,
should changes it a little bit so he could rename it.
Yeah,
yeah.
Beth's flaming.
Yeah, I
Fluffernutter.
could see her doing that. That's I loved that banter throughout
That
the
was so
episode. That's so funny.
You could see Sam too when like the idea came to him, like to
Yeah.
like bring it up. That was hilarious. And there's a wonderful artist on Twitter has gone through and like redesigned all
Mhm.
the shows they make, like rebranding them as Widowgust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll
so
put a. I don't know. Can I put a link? in the
Yeah, I
chat?
can find your.
But that is just super funny. And then what was it Bo saying?
Alright,
You're
going
really
on.
you're really pushing with the gift. You're really pushing with the branding. It's like, am I? I don't
Yeah.
even use my real name.
Yeah.
for things.
It's so good. It's so
That
good.
was-
That
yeah.
was such a good running gag.
um,
Oh,
yeah,
I love it.
I'll link that in the chat. But we should really talk about the fight.
We should. So in the dream, I thought the dream was cool, and I was like, okay, we're fine. Ford's in a jungle. He's not near the ocean. I don't think Ukuto is gonna creep up on him. But then when Ford summoned the Star Razor, and Matt was like, "You don't see the Star Razor. You see a familiar falchion." I was like, "Oh no, not
Yeah.
like this. No."
Not like this.
And a familiar, glowing yellow orb staring back up at you. I was like, it's over. It's done. Pack it up.
Oh no!
Pack
Because
it
I was
up.
thinking, oh, it's just a dream. Like he's going to be talking, like it's going to be rough. But you know, he'll wake
Yeah.
up and talk it out with his friends, and it'll be fine.
We'll have a nice therapy session.
Yeah. Nope.
Nope. Other plans. As
Um,
whew. I just want to go
The-
back. I went back and just looked at like the reaction of each of the other cast members as Matt was describing how Ford was being stabbed in his sleep. Oh man, definitely.
He's lucky it was a warlock and not like an assassin. Well, I mean, it's not lucky he's dead anyway, but
Yeah.
that I thought it was going to be like an assassin and like
Mhm.
do tons of damage. So when Matt's like, "Oh, I did like 15 points of damage," but I think before Ford even got a turn in that combat, he was already at half health. Just the amount of
Yeah.
times he got attacked,
Yeah.
which is insane to be at half health
Yeah.
before your first turn.
I was
Um,
definitely, and I'm sure many other people, as well as other members of the cast, were thinking it was Avantika coming to get her.
Yeah, that I
her
think a lot of
revenge.
them kind of thinking that because he was describing it as like it almost seemed like an undead creature he was describing.
Yeah.
But, no, I think it's just. Well, we don't know, but it could just be a random warlock because there was two of them. Two.
Yeah. And they both
what,
had.
What we pretty
sword
well
of
assume are
Phantoms.
deep scion, like the creatures that they were
Yeah.
fighting. Which someone made a really good point of saying it kind of goes to show that aspect of maybe Ford wasn't special. Like Ukatoa has a lot of minions.
Mhm.
And he kind of props them up as saying, "Oh yes, you're the chosen. You are like my one to do this." But he has a lot of minions doing his work as well, and it kind of
Mhm.
it's that idea of well, yeah, your warlock demigod is a bit of a prick.
Yeah.
He doesn't have your best interests at heart. But I mean, it could still be Avantika. Scions are really weird in how they're made and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah,
She
that's
could
true.
have been revived underwater
true.
and then turned into one. She could have been one the whole time. We don't know.
Yeah.
Someone
Being
found your scene,
awful.
Alana.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the chat.
Was that? I saw someone post it earlier, but if someone else found it, yeah. Thank you to everyone that's went searching. That's awesome.
I was thinking that because I watch Critical Role kind of. I'm sure lots of other people do too. You watch it sort of as a show, but then also because you're watching D&D and I'm a DM, I felt like this
Yeah.
was Matt after the fight in the menagerie. It was like
Yeah.
this is what he thought the fight in the menagerie was going to be like. Like this is going to be really dangerous. Somebody's going to die. First resurrection. Let's do it. And then that was like they breezed through it, and this was. My note just says like in caps, happy Matt, very happy Matt, because
It was a super dangerous fight, and I feel like it wasn't even because of the creatures they were fighting. It's the setup of
Yeah.
the battle map as well. So
Mhm.
having them on different layers, having it closed confined space.
So chaotic.
Yeah, it was rough. It was a
Yeah.
very long fight, but it didn't feel like overlong. Like I think that there was a fight a little while ago that kind of maybe dragged on a little bit. The fight against the Crave fighter things, whatever they were. But this fight, it was just like, oh god, what's going to happen next? Like
Yeah.
this is kind of. It didn't feel at any point as though they had the upper hand or they were doing well. It was kind of they were just surviving the fight, kind of. So, yeah, it was a really well thought out fight. As you say, like looking at it from a player or a DM perspective, just then looking at the mechanics of it and just going, oh, and he was really on top of like, I don't want to say like being a rules lawyer, but he was very much on top of making sure things were happening the way they were meant to. So he was being, I don't know how to say it, not strict, I guess, but he was just making sure the spells were acting the way they could. Like, I know they were asking about, can I put my spirit guardians to the floor, or can I see him from a certain perspective? He wasn't being lenient in any aspect, but he wasn't being harsh. He was playing it.
Yeah, because all of that stuff messes up the math of a challenge rating of a fight. Like if you, because that's like as a new DM, I do that wrong where I am too permissive, or I forget a creature has like resistances to something, and you just kind of go, oh well, we're just playing. But then like it's not fun. You have to have somebody strongly setting the parameters of the fight.
Yeah.
Because then it feels like that's where the tension comes from. That's why it's so good, is because
Yeah.
it's like, no, you can't just, do that kid thing where you're like, make it, I can just do anything.
The rules are there to make it balanced, but then there's also like Matt's also very good at interpreting the rules for his world as well. So he will, I mean, rule of cool kind of always beats rule as written, but that also then plays backwards, because I feel like, for example, Ford leaning over the side of the crow's nest and then falling out, that's a DM rule cool. Like, that was like, okay, well, this is going to happen now. And that was really cool. It meant Ford went under, but still.
And he still left it up to
really
chance.
cool
He said roll a d20, and we'll see if you actually fall over. So it wasn't like you 100% fall over. No, there's nothing you can do to stop it. He still left it up to chance and stuff.
And it was also difficult because they were sleeping, so they didn't have their armor on. And I know Matt said that he was maybe forgetting to lower that AC for the other people, but Ford had an AC of 10. He was essentially a commoner. That's super rough. Of course, he's just going to absolutely inhale that damage.
An example of a thing you would never do at like a D&D table where everybody's only been playing for like 1 year, but like at a professional D&D table where you've been playing for years and years, and you're like one of the best D&D tables. It was good. It was a good idea. Like,
anything that keeps the story interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just fun. New things, because it's it could have just been, oh well, getting knocked down into crow's nest would have been terrible as well, because no one can really get up there.
True.
But that was a fun part of the fight.
But definitely splitting up the party is what makes it so deadly, because it was Ford and Caleb up top. Well, Caleb sort of made his way up there eventually. But Ford was
got up there very quickly.
Bo was up there.
But she was stunned a lot, which was hilarious.
That was another really deadly thing about this, is that so many rounds of that combat, various members of the party were stunned, and they couldn't do anything.
Or grappled, I think. Not grappled.
Yeah, grappled, stuck in the hammock the entire time.
Stuck in the hammock, didn't get out at all.
Oh no, that's so sad.
But no, it made it really difficult to play, because when you have like one primarily offensive player, but doesn't have his two clerics to support him.
You go down pretty fast, and there's nothing you can really just stop it.
I loved using fast step, and then like just jumping around all over the place, and that image of him just hanging off the mast and like
so cool. And there's like a storm going on too, so just the mental imagery of this battle
I can't wait for the fan art for that. And when he jumped off the crow's nest, did a hexblades curse, or did the hex, and then bamfed back up.
So
that's a rule of cool, because that's using a bonus action as an action. But if it's badass, do it.
That was so
But it didn't really like affect it so much.
Yeah, that just goes to that point of just how insanely proficient they are getting at playing D&D. Like putting those things together, and Taliesin did some amazing stuff as well, that like it was like, okay, I'm gonna do this, then this, and like mixing things together is so cool. That was amazing. Yeah, I hope somebody does a little like animatic of that moment of him.
I think it's just something to say about D&D. Like D&D just allows you, like, I don't know, at least when I play D&D, I keep thinking of, like, I've read books, I've seen movies, I know how like fights and scenarios play out. I want to do something cool and interesting. I want to just ask as many questions as I can, know as much as I can about the situation, so I can just not fuck around, but so I can like have some fun with it. And so I think it's just that when you get literally a playground put in front of you of masks, sails, things like that, it's just gonna have fun with it. And coming from, I think, with Travis, a super movement restricted character with Grog, where he's like having to run around and chase the baddie the whole time, to now he can literally teleport 60 feet as a bonus action. It's just, we're just going to see so many more innovative and exciting moves from all of them. I mean, they've always had that, I think. Like, think back to Caleb in the cathedral, like flying through the window on the catwalk. It's just
So
cool.
many awesome
D&D
moments.
is so
And I feel like
cool.
they all turn it up a notch when
Yeah.
stakes are high, like when
Yeah.
there's these crazy fights, which is so awesome.
Nah.
I was thinking though, they also could have like, they sort of created this problem for themselves a little bit. One, in being so good in the menagerie and like angering the DM, not really angering, but like,
Yeah.
you know. But also, no one thought that it was going to be slightly dangerous for Ford to be back out on the ocean. Like no one, like
Yeah.
none of
It's
them.
true.
kind
I'm
of-
sure the players, they must have known because like they're smart, intelligent people. They must have like
Yeah.
thought about that as a possibility. It's just the characters never brought it up. The fact that hey, Ford,
Yeah,
we're
it's
going
really
back.
interesting because
Didn't
that fight would have been
Caleb-
less deadly if like there was a watch. They were all in, like you said, they're split up. If they were all in one spot,
Yeah.
if maybe they'd spent some time working out ways to put like protection charms on the boat, but like no, they just went out where Ukuto was, just out on the ocean. I don't know
Yeah.
if any of the
That's
actual
actually a good
characters
point.
would- Yeah,
I think
But,
Travis says at one point should have had Caleb put up an alarm spell in his, but that wouldn't have done anything. It would have alerted Caleb downstairs and then
Yeah.
gotten shanked.
hmm Definitely got some. I don't know if you guys have seen the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, but in the first one, their ship was like assaulted by a bunch of like undead skeletons and stuff in a similar fashion that these were. How they're like scaling up the boat in the dead of night
so
to
cool.
kill everyone on board. So I was definitely getting some Pirates of the Caribbean vibes from that moment. But
Oh, shit stuff. I actually put in my notes, they're on a boat. I was excited that they're back on the water.
yeah,
So cool.
it's upsetting Phil's not here because he really wanted this to happen.
Yes.
yeah, he's super into combat. Yeah,
Yeah. I love Bo faking the poison damage, like no one got me,
yeah.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also feel bad for Bo because this is another instance where she's put in a position where she feels helpless or,
Yeah.
or useless because she had
Literally
to watch.
standing a few feet away from her friend.
Yeah, as
dying.
she's stunned and she had to
In-
watch
in
Ford die
A
twice.
super similar way. Like,
Yeah.
just getting
oh my
stabbed
god,
in the heart.
true!
And Travis is wearing a
True.
Molly shirt.
Oh my god.
Yeah, somebody pointed
was-
that out actually. Could this be the problem?
Super similar.
Oh my
And
god,
then
the
just, like,
writers are
Orly
so
going-
good.
Orly going down next to her as well.
Oh,
No, that's yeah. Bo also got stabbed a bit as well, but she can take
yeah.
it. But that's just.
Yeah, Orly dying too.
And
But
then,
they have two
how much
clerics.
how much did you guys freak out when Matt say it's casting Dimension Door, and it's gonna?
I did the Marisha perch. I did the Marisha perch up on my chair. I went
I
up on
did-
my chair. Oh my god.
So people heard me. I slammed my hands on the desk and like threw myself back. I was like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck? Oh god, no, that's awful." Because I think too, he said, you hear him starting to mutter something, and I'm like, "Oh, he's casting a spell," and Liam's like, "Oh, can I hear it?" And Matt said, "Oh, you don't know what he's saying." So I was thinking, "Oh, maybe, like, it's like going to be a feature or something." And then he's like Dimension Door. So in the back of my head, I wasn't even thinking of Counterspell. I was just like, "Oh no, this is really bad."
Yeah, Lynn brings up a good question. What would have happened if it had succeeded? I'm guessing they would have just gone back into the ocean. And
Yeah, it would have vamped like 300 feet
yeah,
into the ocean.
somewhere in the ocean. Maybe they had like a Leviathan
They
on
would've-
standby to.
They would have torn Ford apart, I reckon. They would have just.
Yeah.
I think that would have
ripped
been
in
it. Yeah.
I think that's it. Yeah, that's.
Oh god. Would Matt
Don't know
have
how you
just
can
would,
have
would
that
Matt have just
forward.
killed him outright like that?
He would have. My headphones are shocking me.
I don't know.
I feel like it's probably 50-50 if Matt would have just outright killed him right there. But I feel like
Or
he would
maybe
have
he
leaned
would have
more.
become. He might have become one of those creatures. He might have become a Skylar.
Yeah, and then it would have been like on a quest to like bring Ford back or restore him somehow.
Oh, imagine if Ford became like an MP.
Oh no! And then they had to
I was
fight
just
him.
I was just typing in Deep Scion because I want to find the pronunciation, and I typed Deep
Yeah.
Ford accidentally.
Oh,
Scion.
goodness.
There you go. Oh, I just had Matt tell me how to say it. Deep Scion. Man,
Oh no, that.
Yeah.
But and then the clutch counterspell always. Counterspell is always so
Counterspell
clutch.
is always the best spell. It's never. You always have it.
Yeah.
You're a bad wizard if you don't.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, I was
It's so good.
like okay. Well, okay, I wasn't okay with Ford and Orly.
You were not okay.
with like Ford and Orly dying because I was like, okay, they just have to kill the rest of these people. They have 2 clerics. They can hopefully revivify them, but I was still super worried. But I was
Yeah.
okay. But then when Matt was like, and he begins casting Dimension Door, not okay. Not okay
Not okay.
anymore. Nope.
Not good.
This is no longer fine.
I watched the first half, and then I went and played D&D, and then I came back to watch the second half, and I caught like a couple of spoilers on Twitter, and I procrastinated watching the second half, and I ended up watching it until 2 a.m., which I get is like the time it is in America when you watch it, but like it's already broadcast by that time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was watching it late into the night, and I was screaming. And I've never screamed watching Critical Role until we started this podcast. And I think it's because part of me thinks some of you can hear me. I'm like, guys, have you seen this? Oh my god, what's happening?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh my goodness.
Now, is Matt rolling for Revivify this campaign? Because I feel
He
like he
has
did
been.
for Caduceus,
Yeah.
yeah. And he did for Not. So, it could still fail.
It could.
could still be bad.
It could.
They didn't
But this
have
is only the first time
Resurrection
Ford
yet,
has
did they?
died. So the DC should be low.
Yeah. Is it
Is
the
that a
first
house? Is
time
that a
he died
home
there?
rule?
We don't. What if he died when he first made it?
Oh. True. This may be the second time he's died.
You know, Resurrection's a 7th level spell. They don't have that yet.
Uh-oh.
Awesome.
40. Oh no.
But how far are they away from the maybe?
Yeah,
one of
yeah,
the
they're fine.
other
They're
boats
fine.
They
going?
fine. They
surely
have other people.
should be like super high level clerics
Yeah.
on the main ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're fine.
They have raised dead. Okay. I think that's like
How long
fifth
is
levels.
Ray's dead though?
That's a week compared.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that one's
fifth
yeah.
level
You have to
spell.
drop like a 500 gold diamond for it.
Yeah.
But they
I
have
don't
it.
know because I haven't managed to kill any of my
10
players
days.
ever yet, but I'm working on it.
I kind of like I like maybe if I know they've got Spare the Dying and no that won't work. Oh, anyway, they've also got there's a spell that Cad has, I think, that like Gentle Repose. They've got like Gentle Repose and things like that. But I kind of want the imagery of, say, Revivify doesn't work and they need to save the body, just put it in the amber that Caleb has.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, now
Oh,
we can
wow.
test it out. Let's see how it works.
That's some like dark foreshadowing too,
Yeah.
because of their conversation of the Amber earlier
Just-
about like wanting to go inside of it.
That
Well.
scene was wonderful too, because they're all just shouting Caleb's mother, like, "Oh no, oh no, oh no!"
Yeah.
It's just like, oh no.
Yeah.
But no, that'd be. Fuck, he's dead. Oh man. Someone pointed out how on the wiki it now says deceased next to his character name.
To Ford.
Yeah,
Oh no.
yeah,
Lynn.
yeah.
Lynn, we gotta fix it.
Um,
No. You
Yeah.
can't do this to us.
Yeah. And of course, Orly. He doesn't deserve that.
Yes. How could Matt do this to Orly?
Little disappointed that when he described Orly going down, there wasn't like the sound of the bagpipes, like.
Oh yeah.
Oh, brum, 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 brum.
Yeah. Oh no. Because if they have to ultimately choose between Orly and Ford, they're probably gonna choose Ford.
We laugh because I feel like we feel it's probably going to be alright.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's
But
not good laughing.
We have to keep telling
Um,
ourselves it's gonna be fine.
yeah,
We
we're
have
fine.
to.
I love new characters.
Yeah.
Well,
I think, yeah, I like, there are definitely ways that he can come back still. Definitely not the end. But it
come back as a
doesn't
remnant of the
feel-
Wild Mother.
Mm.
Yeah, like
Oh, facts.
the the resurrection episodes of the first campaign
They're the best.
are beautiful, but they're so heartbreaking. Like, they're so heartbreaking, and so it's so exciting that we'll get, that type of thing where everybody's gonna have to sort of confront
nice
the fact
things.
that yeah.
You know what? It's gonna start probably with, like, they'll do the intro, they'll have like the ads, they'll roll the credits.
No, don't say it.
Travis isn't going to be sitting at the table. Travis won't be at the table because they'll have to do the.
Oh.
That's going to be weird.
Oh shit! That's true because the spell could fail.
Yep.
And then bye Travis.
A good bit of conversation that I've seen brought up is who do you think's going to do which Revivify, because thematically it's amazing for both. Like, if Cad does Ford, it works because they're both Wild Mother, they've got that connection with the god. If Jester does it, it's amazing because
I had a fanfic moment where I wanted to write it up, like just like the imagery of like this storm, and each like member of the party is like desperately trying to save Ford, Bo screaming out his name, Jester rushing up to save him, and then after the battle is over, Jester quickly runs over, casts Revivify. It's like silence as they're waiting to see if the spell takes hold, and then Ford's eyes blink open, and Jester is just so filled with joy that she goes in and kisses him in the storm, the rain pouring down on them, and they share this moment of realizing that they love each other.
Beautiful.
And it only took Ford dying. Yep.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna write it up.
Or he wakes up and he's going, Jester, and it's like Cad just leaning over him, like, hey, back.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's
Look,
funny.
people wanted us to make happy predictions this episode, so there you go. There's your happy.
Yeah, there's your happy prediction.
The Forrester ship is setting sail. Is that a scene in Tusk Love? Probably.
Amazing.
Ford's even shirtless. He's even shirtless, as Matt said.
Yeah.
It works. It works.
I had another mini freak out when the Scion was doing the screech again and Caleb's floating above the water.
Oh, yeah.
Because if he'd been incapacitated, he's right in the water.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
And then they've got to worry about their wet wizard. Like.
Yeah. But he's got a fairly decent con modifier. I think it's either 12 or 14, so he'd
so he'd hold his breath for a while, but they're going to have to. And it would only last for 6 seconds or so. Yeah, he probably would have been fine.
Yeah, but still, that would have sucked.
Yeah, it would have sucked.
Because he
wouldn't have been for the counterspell.
Yeah,
he wouldn't have been there for the counterspell.
True,
so
and
it would have really fucking sucked.
It would have broken his fly, so he would have been stuck down there unless he had another way to get back up.
Probably beginning to drown, would have been fine a bit later, but yeah, he wouldn't have been there for the counterspell. Ooh, that's way worse than I thought it was.
Oh man. Well, luckily we don't have to think about it because
and
it didn't happen.
I think, honestly, if you watch that scene, I think he did fail, but then they were reminded about Yasha's battle cry, because I think Liam, like, whenever something bad happens, he gets excited.
Yeah.
I think a bit like us, because it's like,
True.
ooh, drama, ooh, something exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was like, oh no, but then he rolled a bit better. Man, that's not good.
Yeah.
We should do a critical or what if series. Like, what if this happened?
Yeah. I feel like that's ultimately how we end these podcasts. We always talk about, what if this happened and all that stuff. But, what was I about to say?
What the if?
But I love what the if podcast. But I love fights like this. I love high stakes fights where characters could die, because it makes for such interesting story moving forward. Because while it's nice to see our heroes win all the time, and I wouldn't necessarily say that they've done a lot of winning, they've done a lot of growth and progressing.
Yeah.
But they haven't hit any too serious of like roadblocks or bumps in the road recently that are too terrible. Obviously, they don't.
Or if they did, they dealt with it well. Like coming across the hag, they dealt with that on the Gorgon.
Yeah. But with this fight and Ford and Orly dying, and now the looming threat of Uk'otoa and his minions is definitely going to mix things up. What the Widow gasped. Oh
That's amazing.
my goodness.
We'll have to name this episode "What the Widow Gassed."
Yep.
Widow Gassed, what the if?
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
I
That's
do like with
incredible.
how like intense the fight was and the stakes being so high. What time did Critical Role end?
It
Nico,
was-
It was like
Oh.
2 in the
Like-
morning
yeah.
for me, yeah.
Are you Mountain Time? Is that what it is? Central Time?
Yeah, I'm central, yeah. And that's around the same time that the live show ended as well.
Mm. And also,
Late
yeah.
nights for Nico.
Yeah.
I think that a good thing to point out is how well they do continuously checking in with each other. Like it's very
Yeah.
subtle, but they like talk each other up. When somebody tries to do something that's cool and it fails, they're
Mm.
like checking in with each other,
Mm-hmm.
and also they're just sort of all like, you know, Liam and Travis were like giving each other pats on the back, and Travis was like, I didn't write down specific examples, but I just wrote down how much they like. It's intense. People like
Yeah.
but people got angry at my D&D game last night, which like D&D gets intense. So that was really intense. It's live on the internet. They just were at like a con for a whole weekend. They're tired.
Yeah, I was.
That went so well, and they all stayed engaged. But if you watch it again, you can see they're all like, you know, like Ashley and Taliesin are hugging each other, and you know, like I said, Liam's giving Travis like pats on the back, and they're like all. Yeah, I just wanted to point that out. They're
Yeah.
the reason why they're still friends after Matt's, you know, purposely trying to TPK the group is because they know it's all in fun, and they know that because things happen like Matt lets something slide because he goes, no, that can happen, that's my bad, I forgot to whatever, or they're just good at communicating with each other.
Yeah, communication is oh, we're about to get deep here. Communication is really one of the most important things in any sort of relationship, whether it be, you know, professional, intimate, or otherwise. Communication is so key, and it's nice to see how they're all very open and willing to communicate.
Actually, you're yeah, 100% agree. And to build on that, Wally West, CEO of Yasha Nation, a person
I
that
love
live
that Twitter
tweets.
handle.
Yeah, they're awesome, and they pointed. I think they put it out, or maybe somebody, Durman or somebody, that like this campaign can be more complex and intense because they tested all those boundaries in the last campaign.
Yeah.
Firstly, they personally know each other more, like they're more friends. Sorry, they're closer. They are actually family now.
Mhm.
They probably were sort of, or still just friends at the start of the first campaign, and now they're definitely like a family. And also, they know that, like, Sam was the first one that full on like just went off at his character just went off at them. Now they know that they can do that, and they can trust each other.
Yeah.
That's just
Or,
part
like,
of the game.
Yeah, you can see that when like early in campaign 1 when that like Liam's exploring a relationship with Keyleth, like Vax and Keyleth, and they're all freaking out. They're all like hiding behind me. Yeah, like,
so good. I love it.
Whereas, like,
They
then it
don't
obviously
cope well
led
with
to,
that.
but it's almost natural now. Like it led to obviously, Vex and Percy, and now in campaign 2, like I remember they joked saying like no ships or no relationships until level or episode 30 or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's almost like a natural thing to think that they could develop relationships.
Yeah.
And it's not like an embarrassing thing for the players at the table. It's they respect and they know each other's boundaries. It just makes it so much better to watch because you're just watching like actual professionals.
Yeah.
That have
So
those
I think it's the
experiences.
same with like crazy fights or character deaths or for them in real life, like really, really late nights or times when the dice just roll wrong. They've all roll like poorly for you. They've all already gone through that so many times now that they're just so comfortable leaning into those moments. And I think that really that's one of the reasons why it's so intriguing and so good, is because they're, like Liam says, sometimes they're an ensemble, like and they know
They
each
are
other
actually
so
a
well.
party themselves as actors. Like, they
Mhm.
do actually work well together.
Yeah, I mean, it is weird that Matt just killed his CEO.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
So it was
Oh,
a
God.
business decision. It was a power
Yeah.
play.
Had to get him out of the way. Yeah.
Man, that was so good. Man, what an episode.
Yeah, that was great. Any closing thoughts? Anything you want to bring up that we didn't touch on from either of you?
God.
It was a
Wonderful
packed episode.
It was packed, yeah. Like I said, I went through and I rewatched it very quickly this morning, like on double speed and skipping kind of the quieter parts. And I ended up with 2 pages of notes for this thing. Like,
Yeah.
and even then, I'm realizing there's things I missed out on. But, like, Yeza and Not scene was wonderful. Just new characters, well, not new, but going back to, like, old boats. We've been saying it a lot, and we'll keep claiming it. Ever since we started this podcast, the episodes have been absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
So, you're all welcome.
Yeah. It is 100% because of us. We are putting out our tinfoil hat theories into the world, and well, the chaos is happening.
Any predictions for next episode?
Well, kind of what Lynn has been touching on is that even if Ford is raised and they keep going, Uk'otoa is still around, and that's like the looming. Yeah, they're gonna have to figure out how to get the orb out.
It'd be better to do it now while he's dead.
And they're gonna have to. Okay, so one of two things: either the party is not going to tell the assembly or the armada that they were attacked, or if they do, will they postpone the negotiations until they can figure out this Uk'otoa situation, because they don't want Uk'otoa to attack during the negotiations.
I wonder what the Cerberus Assembly would do with that information, that there's a powerful demigod just waiting to be unleashed.
Oh, shit. Uh-oh. Yeah, I don't know.
And here's the thing, too, that I'm confused about that. When they said that like Matt said, the fact that Ford still has the orb, the sword was just a symbol of that, the fact that there was the eye or sword. The warlocks he was fighting had daggers and had swords with the eye. Does that imply they have orbs inside them too? So there's more than 3 orbs. It's just he needs 3 to be unlocked? I don't know. I'm hoping
that's interesting.
It could all be alive.
That's the thing too. He's clearly an untrustworthy demigod or whatever.
Yeah.
We don't really know. Yeah. Looking forward to some proper deep dives. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Until stuff next week. I'm tired.
No, all good. But yeah, it looks like next episode is probably going to be a little bit of discussing what happened, reviving Ford, maybe sharing the information with the assembly. Yeah, orally. Shopping episode.
Amazing.
Yeah. Maybe they'll stop at one of the islands along the way and.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lynn said they could ask Vandrin how he got rid of the orb.
Vandrin's on Rumblecast. Vandrin's waiting for TravelerCon.
Yeah. That's still our prediction. Vandrin has taken refuge on Rumblecusp, and he is waiting for TravelerCon.
Yeah.
My prediction, I have a happy prediction. My prediction is now that Not has reconnected with her husband, I give up on my Not Caleb ship. Don't think about it too hard. And I think Not just becomes matchmaker for the group. Like, Sam's already starting to do it, and I think Not's just going to lean into that.
Well, that's the
That's my
thing, because
happy
Knots was so excited about Bo revealing her crush on Jester, but Knots also super excited about Jester having dinner with Ford. Like, I think
Yeah.
I think Knott's just excited for anything to happen with Jester, maybe. Like, because they're best friends.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's true. That's really good. And I did like in that conversation with Yeza how they kind of, it again felt a little bit like Matt saying, no, you can still keep your character. It's a choice you can make, but don't feel as though your character is being forced to stay with the family because of the NPC's decisions. Like, it's still up to you, the player, to decide what your character's going to do. Your fictional husband is supportive. Like, you can make the decision. You can stay, that'd be fine. He'd be happy. You can go, it's fine. He'd be happy. Which perfect way to handle it.
Yeah.
Sam and Matt role playing parenting and marriage was really
It's so good.
Amazing. Yeah.
What do we think episode 100 is going to be? It's coming up. 2 weeks.
It feels like it's going to be the negotiations, maybe.
Yeah, depending on what happens next week.
Because
if next week is the
like,
negotiations, then the week after will probably be TravelerCon, or at least the start of it.
Yeah, I could see them either taking a little bit of time to deal with this new threat, and then episode 100 being negotiations, or they put a pin in it, focus on the negotiations, and have TravelerCon episode 100. But we've been terrible with our predictions. We kept saying TravelerCon was going to be the live show.
I know.
Like,
I know. Yeah, we missed that by a long shot.
Yeah, our timeline predictions are bad. Our terrible bad things going to happen predictions are spot on.
But nothing bad is going to happen in the next episode.
Yeah,
So it's
nothing bad is going to happen.
as
You
if the
heard it
River
here
are going to
first.
fail and Ford's going to be dead forever. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, it won't it won't happen. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I apologize, Aspen. I keep forgetting I have to allow links.
We need
But if you let us know, Aspen, what link that was, I can permit you real quick.
I just want to do a quick shout out too, because we've been talking about fan art.
Yeah.
And I often have some fan art here behind me. This week I changed it up a bit, and it's going to be terrible because it's going to probably reflect on the screen if I turn it too much. But this is, I'll just do it like that.
Yeah.
So that's a lovely Ford ink art. Yeah, you can see yourselves in the reflection. So this is obviously Ford. I normally have Old Man Grog behind there because it's my favorite piece of Crew Crawl fan art ever. But that is from Jason DeBitt on Twitter. It's JD Illustrates. Incredible artist. He does a lot of hand-drawn stuff, and that is like that's actually some original artwork, which I'm really pleased. Own wonderful artist.
Yeah.
You should go check him out. I'm gonna link him in the chat right now.
I might have to.
I thought it was very fitting to change my Grog out to Ford this week.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's drowning, so
Yeah.
it's good.
I gotta have a word with Streamlabs and links being
Oh,
posted. I gotta permit
hey.
them again. Hey, it's not me.
That's
I promise.
rude.
I promise it's not me.
I'll put it. I'll
Let
just
me
put text in.
find.
Shout out to the chat moderators on Critical Role who are like the Sith eaters of our thing, who try and keep that thing under wraps and not just the worst.
Did that work? It worked.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go check out his
Streamlabs
stuff.
is very strict.
Cool.
But yeah, guys, I guess with all of that being said, we can go ahead and wrap up. Let us know all of your thoughts, feelings, and emotions, you guys watching at home, in chat, or on YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, or any other podcast website that this podcast is available at. Thank you guys so much for joining us in this very lengthy discussion of an insane episode.
Oh man.
Man. Yeah, we went pretty long this time,
Quite
but
long,
well
yeah.
worth it. This was an action-packed episode. So again, thank you guys so much for joining us, and be sure to tune in next week, where possibly the negotiations will take place, or maybe we'll all be crying
Maybe it's
because Ford is
TravelerCon.
dead for good. Yeah, but
Yeah.
we'll have to see. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. We will see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.